do this as the best we can without getting loud and agitated and those kind of things. So we'll come to order. We have a quorum, all are present. Declare a quorum. The agenda, we've made one small change in the agenda. Mr. Gore asked to be first on the agenda after the approval of meetings, and we're happy to do that at his request. So he will be the first item after the approval of the meetings of the May 3rd. And the meeting was stopped on May 3rd and was reconvened on May 17th. So the minutes of the May 3rd and May 17th together are the first items on the agenda. Everybody has a copy of those. Any questions or comments?
Yeah. I'm not gonna approve them because they're incomplete. They don't cover everything that was in the meeting.
What is the meeting?
There's several items that was in the meeting, and there wasn't anything other than the street on the 17th. There was some more stuff discussed. Questions asked me for Jill. Me, I can't vote on them.
Your question was the portion of the meeting that was on the 17th.
But finishing up of 3rd and 17th. Jody and I told her that I wouldn't vote on them.
Well, Mr. Gore, the thing is that on this, it says that I can record what is done. I tried to do verbatim as you asked, but I couldn't finish all of it because it's too much detail. And I couldn't hear part of it. And that's why I have set these recorders in certain positions here tonight, so that I can hear what is being said by everybody, okay? And I'm sorry.
You may, I'm not fussing.
I know.
You may not be able to hear it, but you may be able to tape it real clear to me.
Well, you're here
I'm
maybe
not,
better.
well, you
than
may
I-
have bad hearing. I'm not saying anything against you. I'm just saying it's incomplete for the time.
Well, I made you a tape and everything else, but I can't do this verbatim.
Well,
And according to the laws of a person that is doing the recording, all you have to record is what is done. And did I not do that?
the,
Yeah, I don't have a problem with what you did, but you got so far quick. That's what I'm saying.
It was a whole tape and then a half of another. And it's taken me 3 weeks just to get what I did on here.
well.
And I'm sorry, I mean, I apologize.
You don't have to apologize to me. I told you,
Well,
I didn't know, I'm just not gonna vote on it incomplete.
Well, let me read from the Robert Rule of Order, newly revised. It addresses minutes of meetings under Chapter 16, Secretary, Section E, preparation of draft minutes. Frequently, secretaries make unneeded work for themselves by putting far more into the minutes than is required or appropriate. The most frequent mistakes are trying to summarize the reports offered and the arguments made in debate. In fact, in standard form, the minutes should generally include only what was done, not what was said. That's the direct quote from Robert Rule of Order. Do we have a motion?
I have a motion to approve the minutes.
We have a motion to approve. Motion fails for lack of second. Next item on the agenda is Mr. Coy.
I got some, I won't read here. Won't read it, shut up. I've been Alderman nearly 8 years. I've always tried to make my decisions, being fair and honest for what I think is right. People may not always agree with what I say or what I do, but I will be straight with you and not run from place to place playing the crowd. I took an oath of office to be fair, honest, and impartial, not to please you. I've given 8 years of service to the town. Paul and Roger has done nothing wrong. The town's policy has always been to vote on employees to be hard permanent from completing their probation. This is not Paul and Roger's ideal. This has been done for many years. So the town votes on an at-will policy in place. So when Mr. Leonard's probation vote came up, Mr. Fox, Mr. Cassidy, and Mr. Ellis said probation was no longer the practice, that the Tennessee at-will policy done away with the probation period, and said we could terminate at any time without cause. So after several discussions, Paul made a motion to terminate Rick Leonard, Dr. Seconds. Then Rick Leonard presented a charter stating you must have cause to terminate the chief and town recorder. Mr. Ellis agreed with Mr. Leonard and overruled our vote. Roger and Paul had the right not to hire Mr. Leonard from probation to a permanent employee, and were only doing what the mayor and city attorney said in terminating Mr. Leonard. We were following their advice on how to handle the situation, that we were not satisfied with Mr. Leonard. So how are we such a bad people because we only were doing what we had the right in our city policy to do? You may not agree with our choice, and that's your right, but it does not make us bad people. We have our right to our opinion just the same as each of you. Ask the other employees if they were voted off probation. And most of you people that are complaining really have no idea how all of this came up. You were only at one meeting in 8 years and want to print in the paper and say things that you really don't know and understand how it has got to where it is at now. Where have you been for the last 8 years when all of the other town business, meetings, interviews, other decisions were being made? Mr. Leonard prints things in the paper, a lot of it is not true. It contradicted his own statement in the May 3rd city meeting. Mr. Leonard writes articles for the paper and tries to mislead the people. And you can be misled if you don't attend all the city meetings and understand the whole story. The article on the cat killer, if you'll check, Mr. Leonard's got a lawsuit on that right now. How much longer are the people in Gainesboro, mostly in the county, want to support someone whose only objective is to make 2 aldermen who were only making a choice which they had the right to make look like criminals? And the ones in the wrong writing articles downgrading people instead of realizing the problem. All of this comes back to their politics. The people are really behind all this, know who they are. I've said for a long time, I'm in politics, but I'm no politician. If you want someone who is going to argue, fuss, and get down and play dirty, you don't want me. If you want someone who will be fair, honest, straightforward, and tell you exactly what I think, not just what you want to hear, that's me. I'm not a game player or someone's yes man. My vote stands alone, my opinion, and not what someone wants me to say. Don't take my word on what I've said about probation or what was said in the meetings and what people are telling you. Go to City Hall and ask for a tape. So he'll make you one. the meetings, whatever month you want to know about, see for yourself who's telling you the truth and who's only telling you the part they want you to know and believe. Paul and Roger are not the bad guys, as people in the paper would try to make you believe. We are only making the choices that are put before us. Leadership is not downgrading the town and its leaders. In the newspaper, you hurt people who had no part in making the decisions that are made. I'm gonna read this right here, and you probably laugh at me, but that's fine. My Sunday school teacher gave an example of saying things which we should not say, and take notice, cause I did, I can tell you. You take your tube of toothpaste, squirt it out, then try to put the toothpaste back in the tube. You can't. My first thing is to be honest and do what's right between me and God. If that offends anyone, take it up with God, because He comes first, and then pleasing anyone else last, because my number one goal in life is to please God, not the people. I've got two questions. Does this board support the letters that were put in the paper that are signed, Richmond Hard, Police Chief, Town of Gainesboro? That represents the town. Well, your sign represents the town. That's your opinion, that's fine. But I just like to know how you feel. And my number two question, who's taking responsibility for Mr. Bernard? Actually, if you'll read your papers, like I said before, he's never been hard. So someone takes the big risk.
Okay, the next thing is budget amendments, which you have. These budget amendments are to add some money that the city has received into our budget, like put in our budget.
Mayor, I'm sorry, I didn't make a copy. Can I make a copy of that? I'm
Oh,
sorry.
that's fine, if I mean, if they be approved, I don't have to have one, you give me one later.
No, let's make a copy.
Okay. I apologize.
I'd like to ask the mayor one quick, how come we didn't get a paper on it? Because Howard got sued,
You didn't get the paper.
didn't get nothing, didn't get told about.
I don't know. Maybe it was my shortcoming.
I don't know what to say. Read some red.
These are monies that we have received that were not included in the budget because we didn't know exactly what we were getting. The first one you see there is code number 33420, which is a state law enforcement grant for $5,000. Second one is 33410. It's another state law enforcement grant of $1,800. They both went into the police section of the budget. 34840 is a fire department grant. That grant was actually received in the last fiscal year, very late in the last fiscal year. It was spent in this fiscal year, so it needs to be added. to this budget. The state planning grant, 34,840 is the grant we just received this week. It is to help pay for the state planner, that the state no longer employs. The other one is the energy grant, 34,840, which is $100,000. It's in the process of being completed now. You see new lights in here that are part of that grant. And that money hasn't been spent yet. It actually hasn't been received yet, but it's a reimbursement grant. So we expect to receive that money. So those total amendments equal $184,196. And with those amendments, then you see what the total general budget is now, $813,086. So I would ask for your approval of those. We have received all that money with the exception of the energy grant that we're expecting it when the energy grant is complete.
Give you a motion,
Have a motion. A motion second. Any discussion? All voting?
Aye.
Okay, the next thing on the agenda is, the 2012-2013 budget. And so let me give you some information about this year's budget in preparation for next year's budget. The general fund budget was originally $628,890. Now, with these amendments we've added, it goes up to the $196 is added to that. Make the general fund budget a total of $813,086. Again, if we leave the $100,000 out, which we haven't spent or haven't gotten yet, that makes the budget $713,086. Now, expenditures for this year in the general fund is, in general fund administration these are projected expenditures, 2 months to be added, but these are projected expenditures. Administration is total expected expenditure is $79,230.09. The legal line item is $4,901.40. The audit is $8,000. City hall expenditures, that's the operation of this building, utilities and those kind of things, is $10,683.68. Other expenditures, $83,094.84. Police, $169,554.30. Fire, $75,820.43. That's including the $71,000 or spending out of that $71,000. Streets, $110,513.87. Street lights, $30,000. Park, town park, $2,867.16. The rental fee that we pay to the water department for renting their fire hydrants is $20,000. Workman's compensation is $9,678.08. Employee share of Social Security or OASI is $19,190. And city court is $2,554.76. That makes a total expenditure of $626,089.91 in the general fund. Now, that's significant savings of what was budgeted. I didn't bring the budget in here, but I think the budget was, that's about, uh, 20-something thousand dollars less than we had budgeted. If you add the grants that we received, not counting the $100,000, we have a revenue over expenses in the general fund budget of $61,238.09. So our budget plus our grants that we received, we have been able to reduce that expenditure, and you can save by $60,000. Again, I remind you that these are estimated figures because we've still got 2 months of expenditures. I projected them added the 2 months in, but that's, that could be off a little bit, shouldn't be off much. The water and sewer fund had a budget of $679,750. Our expenditures were employee share of Social Security, $15,095.82. Purification category, $125,125.73. Distribution, $25,425 even. Administration, $192,657.66. The administration includes the depreciation charge that we have to include and the bond payments on the money that we have borrowed in the past. The sewer expenditures was $290,745.55. Now, we had some additional revenue. We had $80,000 or $81,000 from past water and sewer rehab projects that was left over. So we put that in the budget. And that puts our budget up to $749,223.58. Our expenditures in water and sewer were $745,049.76. So that's a difference of about $4,000. We are expecting additional money from FEMA to cover our losses in the flood that we had. We haven't received all that money. I think we're going to get around $70,000 on that. We've got included in our revenues is our insurance recovery. We collected money from our insurance for that debt. We also included some TEMA money in there. You can get confused between TEMA and FEMA. TEMA is Tennessee Emergency Assistance. FEMA is the federal. So we don't have all our money from the federal. So that's a very quick summary of our revenues and expenditures for this year. Expenditures and some of the revenues are projected. For instance, state sales tax, and local sales tax revenue, we'll have 2 more months of that to go in, but I projected that forward. So at least in my judgment, we've done pretty good with the limited amount of money that we have. We're not We're not running a deficit, we're not running, not going into fund balance. And next year, I haven't put together a complete budget for next year's expenditures, but there'll be some increases. Health insurance going up about 3%, I think. We figure we have to decide what we're gonna do with employee salaries. That may affect next year's budget, so. And we have to make a better projection on some of our revenues. For instance, the wholesale liquor tax revenue, we estimated we were about $20,000 short on what we collected versus what we estimated. The business tax, we were $6,000 or $7,000 short on that. The excise tax, we were a little short on that, so we'll have to make some adjustments. But what I would like to do, if it's all right with you gentlemen, I would like tonight to pass a continuing budget, which means we can start the fiscal year in July with the budget that we had in place for this year, and come back with a fully detailed budget written as best we can, estimating what our revenue and expenditures will be. And that will, you know, we won't have to, if we do that, we won't have to come back and battle through that before July. That's not an unusual thing to do, that's been done a lot of times.
Operate on the even budget.
Okay, we have a motion. I'll second. Okay. Any further discussion that you have? All voted? Thank you. I have a couple of letters to read to you. I have this letter. It's one that was not unexpected, but I'm still a little shocked. It's addressed to the Honorable Mayor and Board of Aldermen. It reads as follows. It is my intention to retire at the end of this fiscal year, June 30th, 2012. My last day of work will be on June 29th, 2012. Since the town participates in TCRS, which is the State Retirement and Benefits Administration, I'm able to keep my health insurance when I retire. I plan to continue the coverage after retirement and fully understand it will be at my expense. I appreciate the opportunity you have provided to me to serve you and the citizens of Gainesboro. And this letter was 37 years, but we recalculated a little bit. It's actually been 38 years. For 38 years and 9 months. Even though I will be leaving my position, my love for the town is infinite. If I can be of any assistance in the future, please do not hesitate to call. Thanks for the privilege of serving. Donnie West. Donnie's been fixing here a long time. Has a lot of knowledge that it'll be gained by some other people.
Is there any need for any action at this point? I don't think so either. I'm just sure.
And then I have another letter. And I'll read it. At this time, I regret that I must submit this letter of resignation. An opportunity has presented itself to me that I feel I must take. I've enjoyed my service here at the Gainesboro Police Department. I'm honored to have served with some of the finest officers in the country. With your approval, my resignation will take effect at 600 hours on 15 June 2012. I wish you and all officers here the best. Ronald D. Frank.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Okay, we have a motion to accept his resignation. And second. Any questions, comments? All voted? Okay. Next thing on the agenda, Ricky, anything to say?
Mayor, it's awful warm in here. In the interest of speeding this along, the only thing I'm gonna say is thank you to everyone for coming. And I will echo Mr. Gore's sentiments. It's important that everybody in the town of Gainesboro attends these meetings so that they can keep abreast of what's going on. Thank you again for showing up. I appreciate that.
Paul Junior,
Yeah, I'm just here to see if we can secure funds for a car truck. Been talking to him about a 96 model. He's not really got my comfort zone on money. If y'all kind of set me a allowance of what we need to spend and what we're looking for, I'll do my best to stay within guides you see it.
I don't know, I don't know enough about fire trucks. My suggestion would be, Paul, if you can, Paul Junior, if you can get us prices on,
Well, the last one we was looking at, we come to agreement of 82,000. And just like we discussed when that one come up, as long as we stay somewhere around between 80 and 85,000, I thought I could work with that and get us a good decent truck. If y'all set the budget at 80 or 85, I'm sure I can find a certified truck that'll pass inspection and have a full maintenance schedule records and whatnot. Right now, we're discussing the 96, and he's in the low 90s, and I'm in mid 80s. We're jockeying back and forth and moving stuff around and taking stuff off the truck.
well, I would, I would think in the range of up to 100,000.
I'd say go from 80 to 100. I'd say as long as you stay under 100, not over.
But I'll get us the best possible deal I can work out.
We may have to go through some, there's 2 or 3 agencies that we can look at that fund purchasing the fire truck. Some of them are long, pay back over a period of time. There may be some USDA rural development, I've talked with them, they have they don't have any grant money, but they've got loan money at low interest rates. We need to look at interest rates and pay schedules and those kind of things. And we may be able to, looking at our fund balance and those kind of things, we may be able to make a down payment and not have to borrow as much to, pay back the interest. So we can look at that. So that would be what I would suggest. Okay. Is that all right with you? Okay. The next thing on the agenda is Jerry Roten passed his level 3 water plant operator test. You're like the last day of May or something like that. He has passed. Well, it is the policy that when a person becomes certified that they have a $1,000 increase in their salary.
Give you a motion, give it to him, that's the way we told one budget.
Motion and second. Any discussion? All voted? Carolyn, Allen? Still not here? She called and wanted to get on the agenda. Any other business?
Make it up to adjourn.
One question before we go, and I'll take some motion, ask you a question. On the previous meeting, in other words, they don't get finished, is that what we're saying?
We'll work on it and try to finish it.
One thing I think. You guys can't have this company go fast. They know you. Same thing. They talk.
Yeah, I think that's true, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's true. So, I think it would be better. Some of these companies sell these fire trucks, will finance them, they loan you the money to finance them, but if we can come up with some money on our own and get some money from somewhere else and have the cash.
You can deal with it.
Yeah, I think that's right. We have a motion and a second to adjourn. Any comment? All voting? Meeting's adjourned. Thank you all.